This conference will now be recorded.
Mupparaja? Yeah. Komal is there, Yashwant is there, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Siddharth Gowda? Siddharth Gowda, is he there? Okay. Sachin? Sachin? Pooja? Pooja Gurjar?
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Harshvardhan? Harshvardhan?
Latest morning.
Trisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Prashant is also there, no? And Pooja Devi. Last is Sindhu Shri.
Yes, ma'am. Present,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, yeah, fine. Now it's okay, I guess. Is there a lag? I'll put it on slideshow mode. Okay. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody's yeah, no problem. Video is off so that your bandwidth is saved. You can hear me well. So last time we saw the introduction of dosage forms, the various dosage forms, the classification, and I'll be going to the revision part. So before that, I just want to uh, refresh what was drug. Drug, as I had said, it is nothing but an active pharmaceutical ingredient, API, remember? And it is nothing but a compound which is used for diagnosing, treating, and preventing diseases. So excipients or additives are the inactive ones. Like for example, in tablets, you will have binders, lubricants, then disintegrants. In liquid dosage forms, you will have many ingredients along with a vehicle or a solvent. Then comes the dosage form. So dosage form is through which the drug is delivered into the body towards the site of action. So as such, you cannot administer a drug. You have to mix both the drug as well as the excipients. And then what you get finally is your dosage form. So it's shown on the slide, drug or API plus excipients is equal to dosage form. Last time I did not put up the slide, so I just thought I'll share this with you. Okay, and we had seen the need for the dosage form, why it is required. Oh, what's going on? Okay. So just a small revision. Who is there? I'll just take randomly anybody's name. Dinesh, can you tell me the answer to the first question? Dosage forms may be classified on the basis of physical form of the product as dash. 3 dashes are there. What are they? Dinesh, just unmute yourself and just tell me the answer. Komal,
Treatment, prevention of diseases, and
no,
diagnosis.
no. See the question. Dosage form is classified on the basis of physical form of the product, as 3 dashes are there. See, can you see the screen? The first
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what will be the answer? Yeah. How were they classified? See, I had shown you all a classification, right? They were divided into 3 types, and we just saw one part yesterday. I mean, a day before yesterday. What were they? For example, your tablets or capsules.
Yes,
Anybody can
yes.
answer. Anybody can unmute. Yeah.
Solid, liquid, and semi-solid.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Fine. The next question is: dash is used to introduce the medicated dusting powder into body cavities. Anybody? I had told particular equipment.
Insufflation.
Insufflation.
Right. Very good. Correct.
Ma'am, insufflator.
Insufflation is your dosage form, and the equipment or the apparatus is insufflator. Okay. TOR, insufflator. Next question. Pills were preferred in the older days because of their dash shape. What was the shape? Do you all remember? Pills? How were they looking?
Spherical shape.
Small.
Shape.
It was
No, it is spherical. Small will be size, no? Its shape is spherical. So that, and why were they preferred? If it is spherical, what is the advantage? So that they could be easily. Anybody?
Digestible.
No, before digestion, what are you supposed to? You're supposed to take it, right? So it's easily
Yeah,
swallowable,
easy.
or it can be easily swallowed. Okay. Whereas you can see tablets, how are they not round, right? Little, and when it comes to bigger tablets, that's kids find it difficult to swallow. So these pills were spherical and it's easily swallowable. The next question: dash are applied with the help of a toothbrush for cleaning of the teeth. Cleaning the surface of the teeth, sorry. What was applied?
Dentifrice. Dentifrice.
Dentifrices, or they are also known as tooth powder, right? Yeah, dentifrices, correct. And the last question: the 2 methods of preparation of effervescent, some effervescent granules, it's missing. Granules are heat method, and second method was
Wet method.
heat wet method,
Wet
right? The
method.
way we are non-aqueous, correct. Good. So did everybody get the reference book? I am sorry, I did not mention that the other day. You all can refer Pharmaceutics 1 by R.M. Mehta. Okay, so when you all come to college, you can find many copies of it in the library. If you all want to have a personal copy, I think it's very cheap, well within 100 rupees. You all can get it from Avenue Road or any bookstore. Okay. So next,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah. There is a lag in this, so I have moved the slide. It's not going. The screen hasn't changed, right? It's still the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's so the other day we had studied about solid dosage form. The second type of dosage form is liquid dosage form. Okay. So liquid again is classified into 2 types. We have monophasic, which means a single phase. Mono, which means mono is a single, and biphasic is 2 phases. Okay, and these liquids, as you know, like for example, if you take syrups, they are meant for oral use, that is your internal use. Then you also find what injections, they're also in the form of liquid. So these are for internal use, parenteral use. Okay, and finally external use, that is the kind lotions which you apply on your skin. So these are all meant for external use. So coming to the monophasic liquid dosage form, so these are represented by a true or colloidal solution. So you can just see one phase, it's not separate, as I said, compared to your basic, just a single form. And here you all must have already studied in chemistry, there are two parts of a solution. One is what? Your solvent, and the second one is your solute. So whatever is present in a larger quantity or more quantity, that will be your solvent, and the lesser quantity or smaller quantity is your solute. For example, if you take a sugar syrup, so in that when you add sugar, sugar is lesser quantity, it will be your solute, and your water will be your solvent. So most of the monophasic liquid dosage forms we are using water. So now remember, in the liquid dosage form, whatever solvents that we use, they are also known, can be termed as vehicles. So if anybody asks you what is a vehicle, it's nothing but the solvent that is used in the dosage form. Okay. So a solution is homogeneous because the solute is in an ionic or molecular form of subdivision, and whereas if you see colloidal solution, they are also there, but you cannot see it through the naked eye and only or any ordinary microscope. They are still there, present as aggregates, but they can't be seen by the naked eye. Next is the liquids for internal use we will study, that is we have syrups, then elixirs, then linctors, drops and draughts. And the next one is liquids for external use, which you apply either topically onto your skin. Like for example, which is applied to the skin is liniments and lotions. And the other ones are which is meant for body cavities, like in your mouth. If you want the gargles, these are examples of the ones which are used for body cavities, throat pains, mouth washes. Then into the eye, we use eye drops, eye lotions. In the ear, we use ear drops. To the nose, nasal drops, sprays, and inhalations. So first is syrups. So everybody knows what is a syrup, right? You all must have used it, and the simple which we can use, which we make at home is, can say, for making gulab jamun, the sugar syrup. So that is also a type of syrup where we are adding sugar. Okay, and what is the definition? A simple syrup is nothing but a saturated solution of sucrose or nothing but sugar in purified water. So can anybody tell me what is a saturated solution? What is the meaning of saturated? What is the meaning of saturated? Are you all there? Hello?
Holding as much water or moisture.
No, see now suppose I take a solute, okay, any substance, and I keep adding, like sugar will easily go in water, you all have added and seen, no, it gets dissolved, right? There is a particular state at which no more substance can be added. So that is saturated. It's so much only. If you keep adding more, it will become a super saturated, and then you can see crystals. It will not get dissolved in that particular liquid. Okay, so here is simple syrup is a saturated solution of your sucrose in purified water. And the concentration of the sugar or the sucrose in this simple syrup is so much. So remember this, how much, what is the concentration? Every time this is asked for Viva or your question or exam, 66.67% weight by weight. So sugar itself is sweet. So naturally the syrup what we make out of it will be also sweet, and it will be viscous. So the one, if it is plain only sugar and water, it's known as simple. Now when you add any medicinal substance to it, it will be known as medicated syrup. Like when you're adding a drug to it, so it's called as a medicated system. And which any syrup which you are adding any aroma, special substance, or any flavoring substance, that will be flavored syrups. Okay, so these syrups are commonly used for the following reasons. One is it will retard oxidation, and second is it prevents decomposition of many vegetable substance. So why it is? Because see, what leads to decomposition of the vegetable substance when there are a lot of microorganisms? So because these syrups itself has high osmotic pressure, it will prevent the decomposition, and it will kill the microorganism or stop the growth of the microorganism, and in turn prevent the decomposition of vegetable substances. Then they are palatable, meaning it will be, you'll have a pleasant taste by using these syrups. For example, again, for small pediatrics to take any syrup, if they will use these kind of syrups. Instead, you will not give tablets. They will be given these pediatric syrups. For any nauseous substances and all, we can use the syrups. Okay. So next is, these syrups are again divided into two groups. That is, one is they are prepared by simple solution or admixture, as I said. For example, syrup, or it's also known as simple syrup, then syrup, ginger syrup, then orange syrup. So in ginger syrup, what will be the extra ingredient? Along with the sucrose, you will be adding ginger to it. Then to orange syrup, you will be adding orange tincture. To lemon syrup, you will be adding a lemon tincture. So this is the formula for syrup IP. IP stands for, can anybody tell me? What does IP stand for?
Indian Pharmacopoeia.
Indian Pharmacopoeia.
Very good. Okay, so we'll see in most of the dosage forms, they will give some formulas, and along with it, either IP they will give, or BP, that is British Pharmacopoeia, or BPC, that is British Pharmaceutical Codex. Okay, so the formula will be prepared according to that pharmacopoeia. That's why. So now we have seen the quantity sucrose, so much, and purified water, 1000 gram. So now here what we're going to do is, to purified water, the sucrose will be added, heated, and such that the sucrose is dissolved, and then it will be cooled, and then you're going to make it up to 1000. So see, it doesn't mean you have to add exact 1000 gram, or in short, it's ml. So here you're going to add and make it up to 1000 ml. Okay, to produce 1000. So cool and produce more of purified water to make the required way. The second one is syrups prepared by a process of extraction. That is example Tolo syrup. So now I've not given the formula, that we can go through it later. The next one is, just a minute, is there any other disturbance other than me speaking? You all are getting any other voice?
No,
No, ma'am.
No, no? Okay, fine. So next is elixirs. Yeah, fine. Next is elixirs. So remember, these are all for internal use. Okay. So elixirs are nothing but sweet aromatic preparations, or they are also sweet alcoholic aromatic preparations, because major quantity is the ethanol or ethyl alcohol, and these are usually colored. And also along with your alcohol, there will be water, then glycerin or propylene glycol, then flavoring agents will be there. Okay, and syrup, and then preservative, so as to prevent the growth of microbial microbes. So medicated elixirs, meaning you are going to add a medicine or any medicament or any potent drug to the elixir, such as any antibiotics, antihistamines, which is allergy inducing agents, so against those anti-allergic agents, or sedatives. Then the flavoring elixirs are used as flavors and vehicles. So here formula again is given. It is simple elixir IP, Indian Pharmacopoeia, where they are using an orange tincture. So much quantity. Syrup will be 400 ml, means it's already you have prepared sugar plus sucrose plus water and kept. And from that you will be taking around 400 ml. So chloroform water will be sufficient to produce 1000 ml. So they mixed all the tincture with syrup and then added the water, chloroform water, to produce the required volume. And then there's a mistake, it's in the screen. It's allowed to stand for a few hours, shaken occasionally, and then filter. So next one is link test. Okay, so link tests are nothing but viscous liquid oral preparations which are prescribed for relief of cough. So now you want to remove the phlegm or the cough. That time you are using, the doctors generally prescribe these linctuses. For example, we have codeine linctus, this is British pharmaceutical codex. So these linctuses usually have demulcent, sedative, or expectorant action to remove the mucus. Okay, so these linctuses are supposed to take in very small doses. And remember, after always taking, you should not immediately drink water. You should slowly sip it, and should never dilute it with water also, so that it sticks to your throat for some time and produce the effect that
Ma'am, there is
is
a lot of
needed.
disturbance, ma'am.
Ma'am, your
So
voice is
here,
breaking.
Voice is
these are the
breaking.
various ingredients coding link: BPC, codeine phosphate, lemon syrup, benzoic acid solution, water, and syrup to make. Yeah.
Ma'am, hello? Ma'am, your voice
Is
is
it?
breaking.
Oh,
Yes,
1 second.
it's breaking a lot.
Check. The Wi-Fi is fine now. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
It's still
Ma'am, is still.
breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, try another. Yeah, just let me try the issue network. Can you hear me now? Or is it still breaking?
No, ma'am.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Meaning y'all can't hear her. It's not, or it's not breaking.
Now it's okay, ma'am.
It's okay. Oh, fine. Okay. So should I start from linctuses again? The definition part.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So elixirs was fine, no? The previous one.
Yes, ma'am, it was fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So linctuses are nothing but viscous liquid oral preparations which are generally used to treat cough. So they will contain the drugs which have demulcent, sedative, or any expectorant action. And they have to be taken in lesser doses, not too much also, and slowly sipped and swallowed without, you should not dilute it with water. Just a minute, 1 second. Okay. So remember, after taking lincturs, you should not drink immediately water so that it remains in your throat for some time and the action is seen. The example of a linctus is codeine linctus. So when you differentiate an elixir and a linctus, remember, if anybody asks, elixirs are alcoholic preparations, whereas in linctus, elixirs and lincturs are viscous oral preparations. So these are the ingredients. Now, looking at the formula, can anybody tell me what is the vehicle we have used here?
Solvent used in dosage form.
So which one I'm asking? Which is the example in the same formula in the codeine link test? You can see many ingredients. So which is the vehicle here? Nobody? What is the solvent here you can see? In what are you dissolving all the ingredients? Other than that,
Benzoic acid solution.
Benzoic acid solution.
no, down. What is at the bottom? It's syrup, right? See, usually in all the dosage forms, whenever we write in the formulas, our vehicle will be written at the end, remember. And you have to see what is more quantity. See, now if you comparatively see the quantity, the highest quantity is what? 1000 ml, right? Okay, so just remember that and that term. So in syrup, you're going to add all the other ingredients. Now, which is the API here? Which is the API here? Active
Codeine.
pharmaceutical. Right, codeine. That is your main drug, right? And the other lemon syrup and all those, what will be they be? Benzoic acid, chloroform, compound tartrazine. What are they termed as? And even your vehicle, all these are your excipients. Okay, remember, or also known as additives. So here we are going to add codeine phosphate. You're going to dissolve in water and then slowly heat it. And then add the rest of the ingredients. And at the end, you're going to make up the volume by adding syrup. Okay. So next is drops. So these are again nothing but again liquid preparations which are used for oral administration. For example, what are the examples here? Like we have these vitamins, oil soluble vitamins. Again, children who have like 1 year old and all are usually given vitamin A drops, vitamin D drops. So these are all in the form of drops, right? They'll be vitamin A and D concentrates in fish liver oil are presented as drops for administration. So since they contain very potent medicament, that is the activity seen soon, those kind of drops or others should be what you can see, the dose should be measured accurately. You cannot simply take a drop or any, for example, it's not only drops, it could be even syrups. We always measure, they will tell how much exactly, right? 5 ml or 10 ml, whereas in the case of drops also it will be 2-3 drops. So not more than that. It should be, otherwise what will happen? If you take more of your drug, we always say overdose has happened, right? So it will show some side effects or adverse reactions may be seen. So for that, what do we do so that the exact dose is measured? Machine, as the name suggests, drop. So naturally, we are going to use a dropper. So on the dropper, you all must have seen markings. There will be fine markings, like there will be fractions of millimeter, and we can see how many it will be if it is 2 ml, 1 ml, if they tell, so that it is already properly graduated in the fractions of milliliter. Or otherwise, it will be already, there will be no markings as such, but it will be just one at the top, the whole will be 1 ml or 2 ml. So that is a pre-calibrated, it's already calibrated dropper in which the number of drops will be equivalent to that particular prescribed dose of the particular preparation being administered. And now again, size of the drop also depends on the surface tension, then viscosity, density, and temperature of the liquid. Next is liniments. Now till drops, what we saw was for oral or your internal use. Now liniment is for external use, that is it's applied to the skin. So these may be both liquid also, and you even get semi-liquid preparations which are applied on the skin. Now again, you will see there's one more after liniments, that is lotion. So the difference between both is liniments, you're going to rub. When you apply on the skin, you have to put friction and rub the skin on the skin. so that the medicament is absorbed. And they may be either alcoholic or oily solution. The best example is the camphor liniment. So here, alcohol, why it's used is because it will help in the penetration of the medicament into the skin. See, skin, it's not like how we easily take the oral dosage forms and your drug is easily absorbed. Whereas when you compare with skin, it will or a topical delivery, it acts as the barrier, and not most of the drug will permeate easily. So for that purpose, you're using alcohol, which will help in the penetration of the permeation of the medicament, and also increases the counter irritant or rubefaction action. Rubefaction is nothing but again rubbing kind of action. So here sometimes they also use soap in some of the liniments so that you can easily apply the liniment, and they will again the uses or the types of liniments are analgesic, rubefaction, soothing, and counter irritant or stimulating properties. So again, remember when you compare with lotion, this liniment should not be applied to broken skin. See why? It will cause more irritation if you apply on the broken skin. And the best example is camphor liniment. So camphor is added and arachis oil. So here, just you're simply adding the camphor in the arachis oil in a closed vessel and mixing. So there are more examples, like we even have turpentine liniment. So there are also many, then soap liniments are there. Okay. Next is lotions. So lotions are again liquid preparations which are used for external application without friction. So liniment, as I said, what was it? You can apply friction, whereas lotions you should not. It is supposed to be applied simply. You should not rub it. Just apply. The best is calamine lotion. Most of you all must have used it, or Caladryl. They all rub it after preparing. Applying. It's just simply applied. You don't have to put pressure, or no friction is required. And sometimes with bare hands we use it, or you can also use any cotton, wool, or gauze and soak this lotion and then apply onto the skin. So this is used whenever you get any insect bites or allergy and all. It will normally need use this calamine lotion. It will give a good cooling or protective purpose. And they're also prescribed for antiseptic action. So here it's calamine lotion, the ingredients: calamine, zinc oxide, bentonite, sodium citrate, liquefied phenol, glycerin, and last is rose water. So rose water is your vehicle here. So the total ingredients you keep adding and dissolving, and then finally you see that it is total is 1000 to produce 1000 ml. It's not separately 1000 ml. Total should maybe made up to 1000 ml. So sometimes in some lotions they also use alcohol. So alcohol, why? It is when you take any alcohol, how do you feel? When you touch alcohol, what do you feel? What is the sensation?
Cooling sensation.
Yeah. So the same reason, alcohol also may be used in any lotion. Okay. Or any soothing kind of effect also. Next is gargles. So these are again external preparations, but where not on the skin, you're taking it inside the body cavity. That's it, inside your mouth, and you're trying to treat any kind of throat infection, either treat or prevent. So these are again what it's supposed, it will be available in your concentrated form, and then you're going to dilute it with a warm water before use. Best example is your betadine gargles. Okay, I'm sure during this COVID pandemic, most of you all must have done that treatment at home. Whenever you would get a sore throat. So quickly, equal quantity of the betadine solution along with warm water would be mixed and then kept in the mouth for some time, and then so that it remains like for a few seconds, and gargle it, and then you're going to throw that. You're not supposed to swallow this. You will spit it out of the mouth. So it's for what? It is to relieve the soreness in mild throat infection. So usually in gargles, they use either phenol or thymol. because they are meant for their antibacterial activity. And sometimes even potassium chloride is included in these gargles for its weak astringent effect to tone up a relaxed throat. Okay, so along with that, it also has another property that it will stimulate the secretion of saliva. So if at all, usually in sore throat, what we see is it becomes very dry. So when this potassium chloride, what it will do is it will stimulate the secretion of saliva, and thus the dryness will be relieved. Examples of phenol gargles, potassium chloride, and phenol gargles. Again, did I make a mistake? Yeah. It's also potassium chloride and phenol gargles again is another single one. It is okay. The next is mouthwash. So see the difference. What is the difference between gargle and mouthwash? Can anybody tell me? Best example of mouthwash is Listerine. So what is the difference? Hello?
Mouthwash is to refresh the mouth.
Yeah,
To give
correct.
freshness.
Very nice. Good. So if you have a bad odor and all, it's just to deodorize, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So whereas gargles are not for that. Though we do gargle, when you use mouthwash also, you're going to gargle, of course, that and then spit it out. But that is, the previous one was for treating any sore throat infections. Whereas this is just, it has a pleasant taste, and either in the morning you will do, or at night just before after brushing, you're going to use this mouthwash and just to make clean and deodorize the buccal cavity. So these again will contain normal antibacterial agents and all, because as you know, bacteria are the ones which will naturally cause odor. So for that you require antibacterial agents. Then alcohol, glycerin, sweet aning agent, flavoring agent, and coloring agent. So here, this is one example, sodium chloride mouthwash compound, BPC, that is British Pharmaceutical Codex. Okay, so here you're using NaCl, sodium bicarbonate, and peppermint water. So that is your vehicle here. Next is throat pains. So these are again what viscous liquid preparations which are used for mouth and throat infection. Now see, for anything in the previous also we had seen linked also sometimes glycerin is used for most of the time as a base. Why? Glycerin is little thick or viscous and it will naturally stick to your mucous membrane for a long time. It should not be like you drink water and it immediately goes down. So then naturally whatever drug is, that will not have what do you say, it will not play, or it will not show any effect, you can say. So it should in turn stick to the throat for some time. So for that you're going to use glycerin as the base, which will adhere to the mucous membrane. And also another advantage of it using glycerin is it already has a sweet taste. Okay, we have how many more minutes? 6 more minutes. I have to end it exact at 10:50 today. Then is sprays. Okay, so sprays. So here again, these are preparations of the drug in media, which could be either aqueous, alcoholic, or glycerin. So naturally, if you want something to be sprayed, what are you going to use? A type of atomizer, right? Or it's also known as a nebulizer, and such that large droplets don't come out. So when you spray, only fine droplets will be there, and so that it will come inside or reach the lungs. So this is one formula of the sprays: adrenaline and atropine spray compound, BPC, and these are the ingredients here. Then is inhalations. So inhalations, these are again which will contain volatile substance and then are used for relieving congestion and inflammation of the respiratory tract. So most of you all must have used again eucalyptus or nilgiri oil, and which will be which will some will have a roll-on kind, or which can be again, or some do not have a roll-on and it has a very narrow mouth, and that is again applied onto your handkerchief and you will try inhaling it. So that is one type. Or Another kind is where you're directly adding to hot, but it should never be boiling water. And thus those vapors then are then inhaled. So here the example is menthol and eucalyptus inhalation. Are you all getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all, anybody has used inhalations before?
No, ma'am. I didn't use.
Never? Okay, fine. The next is nasal drops. So these are all again still in liquids only, remember, and that too monophasic. We are yet to come to biphasic. So nasal drops, naturally drops which we are put into the nose or administered or instilled into the nose with the help of a dropper. And so these are usually aqueous and not oily drops. So why if oily drops will, meaning it will obstruct the cilia which is there present in their nose, and there are chances that you may develop pneumonia. So usually the nasal drops are made of water, that is they are aqueous based and not oil based, remember. Okay, so these should again be isotonic. So see, whenever we use like a nasal or eye drops or eye lotions, always they should be isotonic and have a neutral pH. And otherwise, if you use other type, there are chances it will cause the shrinkage of the cell or hemolysis of the cell. So hence, they should be isotonic, having neutral pH, and the viscosity will be similar to your nasal secretion, whatever. Because if at all there is the nose feels or my body will feel there is a foreign, this what it will try to kind of throw it out of the system. So that's why the viscosity and the pH should be similar to the nasal secretion, and you're going to make it viscosity similar by using methyl cellulose. So the example here is ephedrine nasal drops, BPC. Ephedrine hydrochloride is your API, rather excipients added, and finally water. Then is eye drops. So these are again sterile solutions or suspensions of drug. So remember, it's going into the eye. So hence it always should be sterilized, that is completely free from pathogenic or microorganisms. So these all are not made in the same industry as of your tablets and capsules. The sterile formula plants are there where they make these eye drops, then parenterals, all are coming under sterile products. Okay, so these are eye drops are sterile solutions which are instilled or administered into the eye by a dropper. So again, eye drops also similar to nasal drops are made using water, and same, they should be sterile, isotonic, and here it should be isotonic with lacrimal secretion which are present in your eye, whereas in nasal drops it was isotonic with your nasal secretions, buffered and then free from foreign particles to avoid irritation to the eye. So if any dust particle goes into our eye, we keep rubbing and it irritates a lot. So the same way, you should see that your eye drops, whatever is prepared in the company, they are always filtered and seen that no foreign particles are there, or small any grittiness will cause irritation to your eye. In the eye drop, again, since it is your eye, a vital organ, so we should always see that there are no besides sterilization, you have to also add a preservative in order to stop any microbial growth. Like for example, remember these preservatives: phenyl mercuric nitrate, benzalkonium chloride, or it's also known as BKC, and chlorhexidine acetate. So these are the preservatives used in eye drops. Eye drops again contain substances having antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, anesthetic, and miotic properties. So now what you're going to do, your drug will be dissolved in the water along with the other excipients or any preservative which is mentioned in the individual monograph of the pharmacopoeia. I just want to tell some precautions also for eye drops. So you all know we use a dropper for this. So what instructions do you all see on the carton of the eye drops? How are we supposed to handle the dropper and all? Anybody has seen?
You're not supposed to touch the tip of the nozzle.
Yes, right. Then anything else? They've also said, see, anytime a color changes, you're supposed to not use those eye drops. Okay, so I have to wind up my class because somebody else has to again log in. Okay, so see you all next Monday, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Bye. Bye.